won his second Winston Cup race for the Jack Roush team, takes their second career victory.
Time there at one of my favorite racetracks, Charlotte Motor Speedway. I know I've had my share of good times over the years there. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you today, but wanted to let you guys in on a little bit of news. Jack Roush and I went racing together over 25 years ago, and yes, we experienced our share of heartaches as we grew in the sport, but we would go on to experience great victories as well. My time in the 6 car will always be special to me. And yes, there's a part of me that will always be number 6. Because of that, I'm excited to say that Jack Roush is bringing back the number 6 Ford to the Sprint Cup Series full-time in 2015. It'll have Trevor Bayne behind the wheel and be sponsored full-time by AdvoCare. Trevor Bayne is a Daytona 500 champion already and a fine young man in our sport who has worked really hard. And having the experience of working with AdvoCare over the past several years, it's been a great experience as well. I know the combination will be awesome, and I can't wait to see you guys on the racetrack in 2015.
We're taking requests all day here. Trevor, news is out. Talk about your lifelong dream to run full-time Sprint Cup. You obviously have a good bit of experience in the series, but talk about being able to fulfill that dream, to do it in the 6 car, and to do it with a partner like AdvoCare on board.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming out today. This is obviously the biggest news I've ever had in my life. Although we've had some big news before, this takes the cake. So I'm really excited to be sitting up here today beside Jack Roush and Mike Vault from AdvoCare and Kevin Woods. This is a huge opportunity for me to be able to drive the 6 car with a full-time sponsor like AdvoCare. But I could have never done all this without the people who've been behind me. I just left the Wood Brothers Hauler from talking to Eddie and Lynn, and so if I'm a little shaky and look like I might have been teared up a little bit, it's from talking to those guys and just the support that they've given me over the last 3 years to be able to get to a place where I could have this opportunity to drive that 21 car has been incredible, and now I get to move on to another legendary number in the 6 car. This is something, you know, I've waited on since I was 5 years old, always wondering what car would I be in with what brand. When you think about Jeff Gordon, the 24, and DuPont, I was a big fan of that as a kid, and the older I got, the more the economy changed and the less and less it looked like I would have one sponsor to be behind me for a full season. Now I can gladly say that I know what that brand is going to be for me. It's AdvoCare. I look forward to a long relationship with them. This company has been incredible for me this season, getting to know the people behind the brand, getting to know what the brand stands for, and getting to know their product this year with all my training that I've done, being in the race car. It's just one of the best companies you could ever ask for to represent and to represent you. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of distributors have become fans, and it's been incredible to watch this year. But the person that I wanted to thank the most in this room is Jack Roush for standing behind me over the last 4 years now. We've been through a lot of ups and downs, but he and his organization from day one have said our goal was to get to Sprint Cup. We always wondered when that day was going to be. There were times when it felt like things were moving really fast and times where we had to really bite down and be patient. But one thing has stayed constant, and that's Jack and Steve Newmark and everybody else, Evan Lyle at Roush Fenway Racing, that have been committed to me in my career. They've always developed young drivers, and I'm glad to be one of those that have had the opportunity to drive Jack's nationwide cars, and now finally going to get to drive one of his Sprint Cup cars. This is just such an opportunity, and this room is full of people who've supported me along the way. My parents over here, my mom and dad who gave me the first opportunity to drive anything, and now my wife Ashton, who's been behind me this last few years, and really this season, our first year being married. I can't possibly thank everybody because there have been so many people that have allowed this to happen. But today's about AdvoCare, the number 6 Roush Fenway Ford, and me finally getting to live out my dream. So I couldn't be more excited.
Mike, on that note, you guys have been around for a while, but can you talk about your relationship with Roush Fenway and getting this number 6 back on the track, Sprint Cup, and your role in that?
Sure. Well, in life everything's about relationships, and with Roush Fenway, from Jack to Steve all the way down to our number 6 crew this year, it's a first-class organization. They've been fantastic for us, and for Trevor to drive our car, Trevor is a great ambassador for our company. He really fits what we're all about, and we have almost 500,000 distributors are going to be really excited today. They love Trevor and they love Ashton, so this is going to be big news for those guys. In life, people come in your life they're people that just make you a better person being around them. Well, Trevor's one of those guys, and we're really excited about him to being on our AdvoCare team now and in the future. We're excited about running for a championship this year nationwide and enjoying the rest of this season. But we're really excited about going to Sprint come next year. It'll be a great branding opportunity for our company, and we can't wait to get to that point. We also want to thank NASCAR for letting us be a part of this great sport.
Jack, we saw a lot of history there with the number 6, and you're putting it back out on the track. Talk about doing that, doing it with Trevor and doing it with AdvoCare, and what that means going into next season.
Well, this is a great day for me. When I started with Mark Martin in 1988, and the numbers NASCAR gave us the number 6 number, and of course we had trials and tribulations. We were up and down that year, and actually won our first race in 1989. And wasn't sure I'd be able to make it. As we've gone through the years, 26 years it's followed. It's the number 6 DNA has made its way, worked its way throughout the organization. It's been really great to think about getting the number 6 back on the track. I remember how sad I was on the end of our 18th year together when Mark decided he was going to retire, and then of course I talked him out of it for another year, put it off, got 19 full years out of him. But to have Trevor and AdvoCare back in the number 6 car is just going to be great. To watch Trevor develop and to understand, the path they've taken, with the family support down through the decades. He's really a success story for his family and a role model for a lot of youngsters who want to make the most of their lives. He's following the same path that Greg Biffle did and Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth did in finding their way into the sport through one of NASCAR's lower series and then being able to move up to the Sprint Cup series. I look forward to being able to enjoy his success and be part of his career for many years to come. AdvoCare is a great American entrepreneurial success story of its own. Richard Wright and Richard Wright and Sherry are the principals in charge of the organization right now, but Charles Regis and his family, have been the custodians of things, and they've really lived the American dream for themselves and for all their direct marketers. The products that AdvoCare sells, the things that they protect, the things that they bring forward to the population are in the interest of human wellness, and they're a high moral company with high standards that really make me proud to be a part of it. And I thank Mike Vaught for the part he did in bringing this deal together, and look forward to watching Trevor develop as years go by.
Okay, we're a little crunched for time with practice, but we do have time for a couple of questions if there are any. Mr. Gluck.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. Jack, does this mean you're expanding to 4 cars, or is somebody not going to be with you next year?
Well, our plans for 2015 are still in a state of flux. Certainly the fact that we've taken the number 6 car number indicates that we have our plans open for a 4th car, but it's still in a state of flux. We'll have more to announce on that later.
Yes, sir. David.
Trevor, you talked about maybe shedding a tear, talking about the woods. I mean, what was that conversation like? And Jack, do you have any input in what the Eddie and Len are going to do with the 21 car going forward?
Well, it's been such a ride with the 21 guys, and they've become part of the family, and I've become part of their family, and that was the thing. You know, you think about the history that we've had together over the last 3-4 years, and you know, it's always hard to make changes, but this is such a great change, and really just their support is what made me almost want to tear up, because they're like, you know, they're telling me how much they're behind me and how much they've appreciated what we've done. And I was actually standing beside the trailer talking to them, and they pointed up at the Daytona 500 sticker and said, that's one thing that'll never change right there is, you know, you got your first one here. I don't care if you get 25 more. This was your first one, and we're so glad we were able to be a part of it. So just to have that almost family-like support from them is incredible. You know, I hope to talk to the rest of my guys as soon as this is over before I get in the car for practice, and I talked to Donnie Wingo, and he had the same thing, and really that's how it's been from everyone, from Roush Fenway and from AdvoCare and from Wood Brothers. It's just the excitement, and everybody understands how big of an opportunity this is. God has blessed me so much with this opportunity to have the consistency of one sponsor, one car, to be able to go full-time, and we've all known that was the goal since the beginning. When Roush allowed me to drive the 21 car, they knew that was the goal at the end of the day, was to be a full-time Sprint Cup driver for Jack Roush, and you know, they've played such a big part in my career, and I couldn't be more thankful for that.
As far as what the Wood Brothers' plans are for 2015, I'm not privy to all the considerations they have going on. Certainly, we've got 2 rookies that would be candidates for a part-time Cup program if that suits their purpose. But you know, they're a part of the Ford family, and now the Penske is part of the Ford family. In addition to the other 4 teams out there, I'm sure that Ford and Motorcraft and the Wood Brothers will look through the entire group of rookie drivers that are coming up that would be available to them, and if they make a decision, we come to a decision for one of our rookies, that'll be fine. If it doesn't, we'll support them as we always have.
Anybody else? Yes, Bob.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. For Jack, did you look at any other drivers for this ride, and also can you explain what you've seen out of Trevor, maybe the last year and a half, that's convinced you he's ready for Cup full time?
Well, when we started with Trevor came to us 4 years ago, and we put our deal together, it was with the goal of putting Trevor in a full-time Cup ride as soon as he was ready and as soon as we found the right relationship with the sponsor partner, and we achieved that with AdvoCare and with Trevor for 2015. We really hadn't thought about a different driver for the 6 car at this time. We just working to get Trevor to where he was confident with him being ready. You know, the fact he won the Daytona 500 early and was really a good indication that he was where he was going, and his progress in the meantime has made that decision look very good.
Yes, sir.
Pete Iacobelli with the Associated Press. Jack, are there any updates on the progress of negotiations with Carl Edwards or Greg Biffle?
Have nothing to announce at this time. You know, that's we're still in a state of flux on that, and we'll let you know when we have something more definite.